This is the Frat House Sports Show. And now, for this week's completely different and often humorous take on everything sports, here are Frat House Mike, Uncle Mark, and Sidekick.
Alrighty, well, welcome back, and it's one of those rare evenings during the entire year where we have live sports that goes on here every week, all the time, but we actually have something truly important going on, and that is the NBA draft is going live right behind me over here. We have yet to, in fact, we are just a couple of minutes away.
Make my day.
From hearing who will be the number one pick. In fact, 45 seconds, I just peeked behind there myself, cheated a little bit. And so it's kind of an exciting situation. We like doing this. We do this on football time. And it's unfortunately, NBA, they got to come to us a little like half hour before the other guys. I wish they would push it back a little bit. But anyhow, we're going to find out in a couple of moments. We got Uncle Mark here watching it with us live. We got Sidekick over there. I'm sure he's keeping a big eye to that, aren't you?
I am. Actually, Yahoo Sports just tweeted the Cavaliers will take Wiggins with their number one pick.
Cavalier? Oh, really? Okay. Well, we're going to talk about this real quick. There has been so much speculation in the past week and a half about the top 5 picks. Cleveland Cavaliers has just mentioned number one pick. All right. Now, that's been a bit of a controversy by itself because, well, my gosh, this is the third year in a row that they've got the number one pick, and that's in the lottery draw. How is that even possible? But my goodness, forget all of that. Who are they going to go with? Because the top 3 players, for most part, have been, right up to this point, Joel Embiid, Andrew Wiggins, and Jabari Parker. Well, it was Joel Embiid until just last Friday when it was announced that he went down with a stress fracture in the foot. Out 4 to 6 months. That's coming off of a stress fracture in the back. And suddenly all we've done is watch this guy's draft numbers drop all week long, albeit it's still believed he's probably going to go somewhere in the top 3, 4, 5, maybe a little bit less than that, depending on how things all shake down. And that's what we're watching, and that's where it becomes so intriguing that's going on behind us. Of course, this has a lot of impact for many of us right here in this local region because the Philadelphia 76ers have the number 3 pick, the Milwaukee Bucks have the number 2 pick, and so we're waiting to find out exactly, and I guess the number 1 pick is in, and I got my folks around here, so you guys just yell it out when you find out what's going on. Not announced. And by the way, I'm going to try to get through as best I can. A little bit of an allergy issue, of course.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I need a drink.
With the coughing and the, so hopefully I can get through all of this this evening. But there you have it, and we're going to shout them out as they occur. Now, let's stick around because there's another big story that occurred this past week. And we're going to stick around with the NBA for that one for just a moment. And that was the announcement the other day that LeBron James had made the decision to opt out of his contract with the Miami Heat now after 4 seasons. And in fact, that puts him now available as a free agent. What do we got? Andrew Wiggins goes to Cleveland, goes to the Cavaliers. No big surprise right there. The big surprise, I think, as we continue to follow this, number 2, Sidekick, you already indicated that the Bucks have indicated that they would go with Parker if, in fact, Wiggins is taken. So the real question is going to be, who do the Sixers go with the number 3 if, in fact, they want to stay away from Joel Embiid? That's going to be the interesting one. So number 3 is the one to watch now at this point. However, LeBron James opting out of his contract after just 4 seasons. Of course, that's his right to do so. He had 2 years if he wanted to stay there. And when you watch it, when you take a look at it, 4 years, I mean, it wasn't horrible. The guy took the Heat to the finals all 4 of those years, only being able to capitalize on 2 of them, however. And it was evident in this past season's finals that the Heat just weren't quite there this particular season and may be showing a bit of age. Now, what does that mean for the Heat? What does that mean for LeBron James? Well, there have been a lot of rumors as to where he may end up. Number 1, we've heard Chicago. That, in fact, what he wants to do is hook up with Carmelo Anthony and go out to Chicago, and there, who have you got? Well, you got Derrick Rose. I don't know why everybody seems to think he's so special. I look at him as an injury-prone individual who really has never been able to come back from that Achilles problem from 2 seasons ago. But nonetheless, that's number one. Number two, the other thing is he might go right back to the Cleveland Cavaliers from where he came from. The Lakers have been brought up. And of course, then in fact, it's also been mentioned, well, Houston's been brought up as well, but it's also been mentioned that, hey, he doesn't have to leave Miami. They could renegotiate contracts. Any thoughts on any of this, gentlemen, as far as what might be going on here? Anybody thinking anything at all?
I can't wait for the primetime special.
Decision 2?
Yeah.
Is that going to be a rated blockbuster for ESPN?
I want to see it in IMAX.
There you
I
go.
mean, putting that in IMAX. I would find it hard to believe he's going back to Cleveland.
$54.95 in HD.
Hard
You
to
don't think
believe.
he's going back to Cleveland?
I wouldn't think so, but of course we just saw, right? They just picked up their first round, so maybe maybe that is the way to go.
Well, and the interesting thing is, LeBron is on record as indicating he thinks Wiggins, he thinks the world
Of
Wiggins.
him, yeah,
Yep.
right. Actually,
Yep.
I heard L.A. too. I mean, I don't know anybody would want to even go out to L.A., but that's another one
As
that got bandied.
dysfunctional as that whole team is.
Right, exactly. Well, maybe they
Yeah,
think
but
that
you
would be
remember-
what it would take to cement down, some stability there.
See, here's
He
the-
wants to be an
The
actor.
salary
He
cap,
wants
though,
to be
I
an
don't think
actor.
that
That
the
might be
Lakers have the money to bring in LeBron.
Yeah, but-
unless they
Right.
jettison Kobe.
Right.
Here's the other issue, though, when you start talking about Western teams, and I don't care whether you're talking about the Lakers or you're talking about the Houston Rockets or whomever you might be talking about out in the West, is that the Western Conference we know is loaded. LeBron would be far smarter to stay in the East, even if he does leave the Heat, because the East is a conference that is wanting for a real dominant sort of team. Indiana showed glimpses of it this past season, but they were never able to actually put it together when it counted. Chicago, again, has shown glimpses of it. I mean, there's been some speculation, depending on what Philadelphia does with these drafts. Could we get LeBron to come here, which I think is folly and ridiculous nonsense, but...
I triple dog dare you. We'll let him come to Philly.
Well, it's draft day.
When a team goes
pass
on
the
the
draft.
record that they're throwing a season, yeah, that doesn't bode well.
We haven't had the second pick yet? Okay.
I'll let you know.
All right. But anyhow, that's the other intriguing issue that's going on with the NBA is, well, what's going to happen with LeBron James? What's going to happen with Chris Bosh? What's going to happen with Dwayne Wade?
I mean, exactly.
Okay.
It's like that
Because
entire team is sort of, right?
In some respects, he's
flux.
kind of getting up and leaving them in the lurch.
Right.
Bosh, he took there 4 years ago. Wade was already there. A lot of thinking that the Miami Heat may opt out on Wade, who's been the man in Miami. He was there before the other two were, and is loved in that town. So, what's going to happen there? What's going to happen with Carmelo Anthony? Is he going to tag along as Bosh did with LeBron? And after a while, it does start to get to be almost a bit creepy. I mean, you got LeBron out there just going, "Come here, little boy," and everybody just runs. And it's a little creepy. I'm sorry.
Is there any free agent out there that he could sign to just replace LeBron and just have a new three-headed monster?
With Riley? Yes, there is actually, and I'm trying to think. Oh, thank you. I wish you hadn't done that to me. But yes, there is actually, and I'm trying to remember who it is. But there's a couple of options for Riley down there in Miami to actually replace LeBron. Now, are they of LeBron's caliber? Probably not. But hey, still, nonetheless, pretty
workable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. But I think nonetheless, the thinking is that Bosh has lost a bit, and Dwayne Wade absolutely has lost a little bit as well. But, all right, anyhow, let's move on over.
I think they pull Marlins. They just fire sale the whole thing.
Jabari Parker, number 2.
There it is.
Number 2. All right, so no surprise there.
Right.
Milwaukee Bucks take Parker. Now, as I pointed out, we'll wait and see what are the
76ers.
what the 76ers going to do, because you got Embiid, who's sitting there, who's, as we know, as I just pointed out, he's not going to be able to play for at least 6 months. got ourselves another Nerlens Noel situation as we had last year? Or do you go with the number 4 pick, which is Dante Exum? Dante Exum, nobody really knows anything about, an 18-year-old from the Australian League. So, rumor in this area has been they will take the safe route and they will go with Exum, so we'll see what goes.
Well, if the Sixers draft him, he will have played as many games as Bynum has. For
Oh boy, there it is. Yeah, I was waiting.
Well, that's about the same number. That's the same number that Nerlens has played, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, let's get it
come
straight.
back before Derrick Rose.
There's only one difference. We're not paying Nerlens $17.5 million.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay? All right, let's go over and take a look at another big story real quick. Well, I don't know how big it is because, for gosh sakes, we kind of insinuated it right here on this particular show. I'll call it the Redskins Effect. We had a group of people referring to themselves as the People Not Mascots group, preparing to, in fact, file a lawsuit against the Cleveland Indians for their name and the use of their logo for, are you ready, $9 billion.
Billion.
All right, now, Robert Roche, the leader of the group, well, I'll tell you, that's an overwhelming throng of people there that are out there parading against.
Turnout was tremendous.
Incredible numbers of people that came out in favor of this.
You get $1 billion, and you get $1 billion, and you get $1 billion.
I mean,
Well, a lot of them were-
seriously?
9 of us.
Many
Seriously?
of them were running the casino this day.
Oh,
so-
no! Oh, no!
No, I'm just saying.
The steps doesn't look like she's part of it either.
Yeah, right.
No, she's trying to cut through. That's
Well,
all. Yeah.
that's her husband up there who's saying, don't fall, honey.
They missed the
So
bus.
there's only 6 probably.
They had missed the
But
bus.
Robert Roche, who's the leader of the group, was unabashed the other day in admitting that the timing of this was absolutely propelled by the recent U.S. Patent and Trademark Office stripping the Redskins of their 6 trademarks. Quote, "We're basing it on 100 years of disparity, racism, exploitation, and profiteering." Now, any good judge is going to ask for an itemization of $9 billion. I'd love to know how they're going to itemize disparity and exploitation. That's what I'm looking forward
Wow,
to.
I'll tell you what.
I've so had it, gentlemen. I have so freaking stinking had it with this nonsense that I'm ready to absolutely, you're going to have to peel me off the ceiling here. This is grotesque.
The biggest problem with this is everybody says that Redskins is a slur. An Indian is not, being a Cleveland Indian is not a slur.
The logo
No,
is.
they're going after the mascot.
They're really,
How is that picture offensive? It's a cute little character.
No, they don't like Chief Wahoo. Isn't that his name? I think that's what the mascot's
Yeah,
name
might
is,
be,
right?
yes.
Chief
Yep.
Wahoo?
yeah, I don't have it written down.
Yeah. They got a problem with that. They don't have teeth like that, dude.
Well,
Come on,
No
man.
dental.
Yeah, right. Come on.
they're going on a different principle. The belief is that this particular group, if successful here, will go after the others, including the Chiefs, because take a look at their name. People, not mascots. What they're doing is, what they're saying is, you are demeaning us by virtue of making us a mascot. Okay? A mascot is a furry, fuzzy thing that dresses up and parades around your stadium.
Right,
We
right.
are not that. We are a group of people, and
Okay.
that's what they're attempting. They're taking it to a much more allegedly higher moralistic, principled level.
Well, listen,
That's why they're asking for $9 billion.
if I'm a tool bag, can I bring, a lawsuit for being, right? If somebody says, listen, you're a tool bag, I can say, no, I'm a tool bag. Other people are not tool bags. I'm the only one. I don't know. Is there room? Can we, How stupid does this have to
you
get?
could challenge it.
Well, and that,
I think you could challenge it, and with all due respect, just consider for a moment the people that you could pull in on this. Craftsman, Snap-on. I mean, there are so many Mac Tools. There are so many people you could pull in on this.
Wow, that is excellent thinking. I got to get litigious. That's what it comes down to. You're right about this. We can make a list.
Taylor did a horrible situation to you as a tool bag
Exactly. I don't.
Think about it.
I know.
That's ABC. That's ABC and Disney. Now we can go after.
Ow.
Ramp
it up, bud. Ramp it up.
Took Embiid.
Okay.
Well,
there's the number 3 to Philadelphia.
Interesting. Okay.
Embiid, how about it?
It's not been announced on the broadcast yet.
Okay.
It says the pick is in.
All right,
Right.
Sixers.
I'm checking Twitter, so Twitter's probably a little bit ahead of the TV broadcast.
National
Sixers
wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, well, not surprising, right?
Well, that's interesting. All right, now, since we're amping things up and going for fantasy, what do you say we move it on over to a little bit of USA and World Cup action? Because, oh, did I say fantasy? No, I didn't mean it. Fantasy. Come on. Come on. That was a great match on Sunday. I'm waiting for somebody here from the Frat House to call me out because I sat on the edge of my seat actually screaming at the television over it. Tremendous match.
Something screwy around here.
There is something screwy.
Listen, it appeared that...
Well, it is draft day.
It appeared it was the U.S.'s match to be had, with the exception of the final 30 seconds in extra time. Screw that extra time. Americans don't know anything about that. The game was damn over. The match was over at 90 minutes. What's this extra 5 minutes?
Yeah,
anyhow.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it first. There you go. Embiid is the official.
Yep.
Very, very interesting. We're going to be living with that one. We got another situation like we did from last year. Now, that would indicate to me that the Sixers have no intention of doing anything with their number 10, with the exception of potentially moving up to try to get somebody that they could use this year, because it's evident that they're not going to be able to use Embiid.
And Twitter is saying that the Kings are open to moving out of the 8th slot if the 2 picks they have are not available.
Wow.
Or the 2 names that they're
looking at Gordon.
Picks they want.
They're looking at Gordon or McDermott, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw.
Okay.
Gordon was definitely one of them.
Gordon's one of them. Absolutely is one of them. Yep. But that's kind of silly, because there would be somebody of similar. Okay, there's somebody of similar talent to Gordon there that they could take. I don't understand why they'd be willing to move down to 10. But anyhow, all right. Let's go back to that Sunday match, though. There it was. It was the USA's to be had, but ends up in a 2-2 draw, which for many of us, Sidekick, and I'm going to start moving it over to you because you're our FIFA guy. For many of us, we came away from that being somewhat disappointed, but that's the American way, isn't it? I mean, many editorialists were saying, oh, you dumb Americans, what are you disappointed in that for? Well, I mean, it was our match to win. But isn't that our way? I mean, we always want to freaking win.
Sure.
We ain't looking for a stinking draw.
It was really heartbreaking.
Right.
You know,
I want winners.
The U.S. team contained Ronaldo for 94 and a half minutes.
Yep.
You know, one of the best players in the world. Best, highest scoring, players in the world. And we contained him for 94 and a half minutes. But you knew, and actually he didn't even score. He just got that,
perfect pass.
But, unfortunately that's how it goes. So, you got to play the full time.
Now, I sent both of you over last night, and I don't know whether you had a chance to take a look at it. Statistical analysis. That illustrated how quite literally, Middle America refuses, positively refuses to even pay attention to the World Cup. I got to be honest, I'm going to tell you outright, I actually have seen memes from places like Illinois and Texas and places like that where I've got friends who are telling people, do not watch the World Cup. Middle America not only isn't watching it, they actually resent it.
They don't like it at all.
They resent it. What in the world is going on here? Any ideas?
Well, that's funny because St. Louis and Kansas City are both in the top 20 of the ESPN cities. And then, Cleveland. They're they were number 2, I think.
However, in that same article,
I'm sorry.
In that same article where you're citing that, they also did indicate that with the exception of those handfuls of cities that you're mentioning, the vast majority of the heartland of this country doesn't give a damn.
Well, the vast majority of the heartland is farmland. Look at where your population centers are. They're on the coasts. They're not in mid-America. You're not going to have the viewership in mid-America that you're going to have on, in the Northeast.
So what are you telling me, that they're just too busy growing corn?
No, there's just not that many people. I mean, look at Nebraska. Nebraska probably has the population of the city of Philadelphia.
Well, now, wait a minute. The folks in Nebraska are going to take a bit of exception to that one, I think.
Oh, he's just talking sheer numbers, Mike. It's you can't argue with the census.
Well, I don't know. Well, all right.
And actually, let me point out something. It's rather funny. If you look at the Midwest, there are, if you break it up into three, the East Coast, the Midwest, and then the West Coast. If you look at MLS teams, there's 4 teams on the East Coast. There's 5 on the West Coast. There's 7 in Mid-America.
Well, I guess my point exactly is a bit of a conundrum here. I don't get
little dichotomy there.
Thank you. Dichotomy is a better word. I don't get where I get the sense that they don't like that we're copacetic with it so long as it's American, but once there's outside influence, then we're going to have a little trouble with it. That's the sense I'm getting from Middle America. In other words, there's a kind of what's the word I want? National. I guess nationalism. That's not the word I want, but
sense of provinciality.
Provinciality. Thank you. Yes. Not only are you going to be my voice, you'll be my thesaurus.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. USA Today, and I sent this one over to you guys as well.
Yeah. Right.
Quote unquote, people forget World Cup, they forget the excitement they felt, the passion they had for a few weeks. Some come back to the sport when the Premier League season starts in August. Fewer turn into Major League Soccer games in July. The narrative for soccer apostles has been the same in the U.S. since 1994. This is the World Cup. This is going to change the way Americans see soccer. I have heard that this season as well.
Since 1994, I think.
And the fact of the matter is, at this point right now, the Americans are not going any further. Well, at least we don't know that they are. I'll rephrase it. The Americans right now are going as far as they did in 2010, and we heard the same darn thing in 10 that this was going to be the World Cup that was going to change it all. And I don't see anything appreciably changing in interest for this sport. What in the world is going on? Every year, Sidekick, it seems we got to hear this kind of stuff.
Aaron Gordon is number 5.
Gordon.
Oh, Gordon went.
Well, for one, the World Cup is only every 4 years. And I got to say, a little bit of a rant. I'm a little tired of seeing people talking about fair weather soccer fans when the World Cup is only every 4 years.
Okay, wait a minute though. We got the Olympics. You got the Olympics in there in the
end. And the Olympics are every 4 years.
Yeah, but they're in between.
And you don't see people going, oh, there's the bandwagon Olympic people again.
But they're in between, Sidekick. So you are getting soccer every 2 years.
Yeah.
You're getting international soccer every 2 years.
Sure.
And let me ask you a question, too. Can I ask a question here, which I'm really, really confused about? And maybe I'm going to sound like an idiot, and people are going to say, boy, Frat House Mike, I thought you were on top of sports. Where the hell is women's soccer in all this? Wasn't it the women that won the World Cup? Where the hell is that?
Yeah, good question, right?
Yeah.
Where the hell is women's soccer World Cup?
Are the girls playing?
Is it running at a different time? Is it simultaneous?
Is it running on a different planet?
Is it right? Thank you.
Is it running in Middle America?
That's what it is. It's in Middle America.
Middle America.
How much you want to bet it runs like every
other
year?
Sidekick, fill us in.
I don't actually know when the women's teams play for the World Cup.
Well, wait a minute. It was just, what was it, 1998 or 2000 when we were talking about the women. The Americans women won it, and we were saying, why wasn't that the thing that turned it around for soccer in America?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that was 2000. Now, if you're going on the 4-year increments, 2008 to, okay, so it would be the off year.
Well, I'm thinking it must be, right? Was it 2008 that Hope Solo was the big
212,
name? Right?
212, so are they the off, they're the off even year?
Yeah, right.
So I guess what? We've got women coming up in 2 years.
It'll be next
year.
Yeah.
Apparently it's the year after.
Okay. So, all right.
FIFA Women's World Cup is 2015.
Okay.
In Canada.
Okay. So adding more fuel to my fire.
Right.
That there is exposure for international soccer on multiple years. We've got World Cup, we've got Women's World Cup. Yeah, thank you. And then you've got the Olympics every. So I mean, really, yeah, thank you.
Almost every.
All right. Well, I don't know. We'll see whether it takes off. I have been. Listen, I appreciate your classification there, Sidekick, of a fair weather soccer fan. I don't even consider myself that. I'm unabashed about it myself. I don't think international soccer is going to catch on in this country. I don't ever think it will, and I've said it now multiple times.
Well, that's, you know, to be honest, that's why, you know, Americans are too close-minded about this stuff. You know, you got, I mean, hello, we're in America. We've got a baseball team, or I'm sorry, a Major League Baseball organization that calls themselves their championship a World Series, but yet you only have 2 countries participating.
Oh, we're splitting hairs now. Come on, you're splitting hairs. There's a tradition to that. There's a tradition to the name.
Grandstanding.
Oh, well, you know, listen, let's sue them for $9 billion, so we have to change the name.
Golly, that's a,
you've got
that's
the World
a
Cup,
great
you've got
idea.
all the different, you know.
That's a great idea.
It's politically incorrect. What can I tell you? You know, we just need a lawsuit for it. I mean, for God's sake, no, seriously.
That's what I'm going to start up.
Well, maybe you should, yeah.
All right, Sidekick.
Change the World Series to the North American continent.
Series.
Right. And then we'll
is.
have the American and the Canadian divisions.
Cool.
All right.
Draft day.
All right, well, listen. So we're going to stick on World Cup for just a couple more seconds, all right?
Yep.
Because I'm done ranting about it for this week. I've still got week 3 and 4 to rant about it.
Yeah, right. It's not over yet.
Let's go to daily on the leaderboard. Said Sidekick, fill us in because we're looking at groups A to D here. Anything come out of this?
Well, you know, all the games finished up today, so we know who all the people are that are advancing. And you know, you see right there, the Netherlands with their 3 wins is kind of surprising. Mexico, their advancement, as well as Costa Rica, you know. They're surprises as well. And then when we move over to
what about Greece? Greece has got to be is that a surprise or no?
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
Not that big of a surprise. Actually, this is the first year that 3 CONCACAF teams have actually advanced out of the group stages into the round of 16. So and that would be Mexico, Costa Rica, and the U.S.
Now, Uruguay absolutely is a surprise because, of course, they beat Italy to get to where they are at this point.
Yes. And,
okay.
You got, Italy's out.
Right.
England didn't even win a match.
Right.
Wow.
You know, they're 0-3.
Yeah, all right, let's take a look at groups. I guess it would be E through
H.
H. Thank you. Yeah. That was our match from the other day. Go ahead. E through H. What do we got? Argentina up there at 3-0.
Yes, and also Belgium.
Right.
That's an update. Just finished up probably like half an hour ago. So, but they won. Algeria tied. So those pieces are in, and the U.S. I'm sorry.
We'll play Belgium, is it not?
Yes.
On Tuesday, I believe.
We'll play Algeria.
What's that? Yeah, Germany plays Algeria. We'll play Belgium, I believe, on Tuesday.
Yeah, basically the breakdown of the next round is Brazil plays Chile, Colombia plays Uruguay, the Netherlands play Mexico, Costa Rica plays Greece, France plays Nigeria, Germany, as we mentioned, plays Algeria, Argentina plays Switzerland, and Belgium plays the U.S.
And these are the knockout rounds, which means it's one and done.
Done.
Yeah, yep. You play it, you win it, you move on. You don't, you're done.
You're out.
Yep.
All right. All right.
And that's how she wrote.
And that's all she wrote is right. Dante Exum, number 5.
Looking at it
there, dude.
Number 6.
5.
5?
Mm-hmm. Aaron was 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought Gordon went.
Aaron Gordon.
Okay, Aaron Gordon. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sidekick, looking at it real quick. Odds-on favorite to win the whole thing. Argentina looks pretty strong.
Argentina and Germany.
Okay.
So even though Germany's got that one tie in there, they're kind of an odds-on favorite. Now that a lot of the other European powers kind of got ousted.
All right.
So.
Okay. Well, there you have it. We'll continue following it. Knockout rounds next week.
Absolutely. Throw enough at the wall, it'll
Saturday.
stick eventually with this soccer stuff. That's my take on it.
Well, that's what they've been saying since 1994.
Yeah, right. We don't have enough exposure, though,
Throw
even
enough
though
on the
it's
wall.
every year pretty much that we see it. Draft day.
I have a weird question. Does the tie go out the window for the knockout round? There's sidekick.
Sidekick? Does the
Yep.
tie go out the window?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
They just keep playing?
Yep.
Oh, so it goes to sudden
You
death?
can't have a tie in the knockout. Yeah. It's a
So they just keep running around until they drop.
Yes, essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the exact format of it, I'm not 100% sure of. Because, it is a little bit different with, just the knockout rounds. Where
Well, if it
normally
was like
you do
NHL,
go to-
what they would do is they would allow you, after so many overtimes, they'd allow you to just pick up the ball and run and throw it into the goal.
There you
And
go.
then it would come to an end. And that would be the gimmick. That you would, it would, instead
you
of the
get so many chances
shootout,
to
you
do
would get
that.
the handout.
Because one team will be able to do it, and then the next team will come up and do it until somebody actually
Right.
misses.
And the goalie has to
And of
turn
course,
around and not look at the
net.
goal so he doesn't see
There
the
it
shot
goes.
coming.
Yeah, right.
So, and then that'll take
But
off.
we like that because that's American.
That's the way we win.
The absolute end is the blindfold of the goalie.
That's it. That's it. And so, I can't wait for that round.
That's
a
coming up.
shootout.
Coming up.
It's coming up.
We'll be talking about it next week right here. Well, and I'll be ranting about it.
Oh, no doubt.
Let's move over to baseball. Woohoo! No knockouts in baseball, just the ones they put out, legitimately.
park.
Right, out of the park. That's what we got there. That's when you get knockouts. We want to thank our good friends, Carl and Jim over at CLW 83 for knocking it out of the park for us.
Yes, they
and
do.
covering us right here and covering our baseball segment. I was going to say they're probably going to be happy when we get off the FIFA stuff, but I don't want to put words in their mouth, so we'll see. I know this. If my voice can hold out, I'm been invited to be back on Jim's Touch 'em Up program. Jim, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm putting you on notice. I hope I can be there. We're going to try it. If I keep my mouth shut tomorrow
That's it.
and not do any ranting about FIFA,
I don't do that!
then
Well,
I might be able
that's
to. I
not
know.
gonna
That's the problem.
I might be able to join you on Saturday, so we'll
Yeah.
see. But I'm hoping if my voice is really
Don't make me come up there.
anyhow, we're going to move on to it, and here's what we're going to do. Well, it's been a slow news week, but slow news weeks are what produce screwy stories.
Oh, yeah.
It's time again for Frat House Mike's Screwball Story.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah, bases are loaded with this.
And I got to tell you something. It's pretty bad that it's such a slow news week that even a sports magazine like, SI Sports Illustrated finds it so slow that they have to fabricate stories to sell the product themselves. This week, Sports Illustrated placed the Houston Astros on the cover with the headline, "Your 2017 World Series champs." Huh?
Yeah, one.
I mean, I actually had to scratch my head.
Yeah.
And go, wait a minute.
What?
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute. What year is it? Obviously, the article is based upon the rebuilding of the Astros, which has been traditionally one of the punching bags of Major League Baseball for what? Oh, only about the past 15, 20 years.
Yeah, they're still building to something better.
With all due respect, I understand what they were trying to do. I think they could have done it a little bit better than that. But that's okay. Good point to the article. I got the idea. But nonetheless, like I said, couldn't they have put FIFA on the cover? I mean, it's been exciting.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's in the circle.
Oh, it's in the
It's
circle.
in the circle.
Oh, and I hardly
Yeah, right.
All right. But listen, if you think that's bad, coming from SI, well, you'd have to say that ESPN Magazine, they just crossed the line. Every year at this time, ESPN produces their body issue, which takes athletes from all sports and has them tastefully pose naked on the auspices that they are illustrating the athleticism of these models.
This is what you want to look like. In other words, if you're...
Well, yes, you would think, right. This is what you want to look.
this right here is what I like to look at.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to look alike. But
right. Gotcha.
I'm just saying. That's me,
Now, let's get it straight. This is ESPN's answer to SI's swimsuit issue. I mean, make no doubt about that, and ESPN will just come clean about it. However, this year's ESPN models, and I put that in quotes.
Sidekick's girl up there?
Includes.
I can't stand Rhonda.
That's Ronda Rousey, yes.
No.
Includes, all right, this year's models includes folks like Michael Phelps, Marshawn Lynch, Larry Fitzgerald, and Prince Fielder.
Say what?
Yeah.
Huh? Who?
Is that really what we want to see naked?
Dude.
I mean, I gotta ask the question.
Dude.
Is that really
I don't want to see any of those names that you just listed.
Yeah, well, look away. Look away.
Now,
You're mocking me, aren't you?
some may not remember, but Fielder attempted to give us a preview a few seasons ago.
Yeah, you see this?
A few seasons ago, when he was in Milwaukee. It wasn't good then. I can't imagine
right.
it's going to be any good now.
Once you see this, you can't unsee it.
Oh my goodness!
I can't unsee that.
I mean, seriously.
It's draft day.
We need football so damn bad, and I mean real football, American football, not that FIFA football.
You get nothing.
Right.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Okay.
There was some thinking that he could still be available when the Sixers picked in 10, but we'll see.
Not today.
Not today, right? Not in this world.
Marcus Smith, point guard to the Boston Celtics.
No.
All right.
Marcus Smart.
Yep. All right. Last.
Yeah.
I had to stop dead in my tracks yesterday when I read this one. We've talked at length about many of the problems players and fans, most particularly fans, have had to tolerate in the grotesquely crumbling Oakland Coliseum.
Yep.
You might recall just a handful of stories last season right here on this show, where players had to be moved from locker rooms and fans couldn't access certain sections of the food courts due to a sewage dump that took place inside the stadium. Yet, the A's team management signed are you ready?
Yeah.
10-year extension to their lease. Yep, that just locked them in to the Oakland Coliseum until 2024. Incredible. You know, I gotta be honest.
Moneyball.
You know, Sidekick. Okay, yeah, but you know something, Sidekick. And you and I, we were just talking about it a couple of weeks ago, or last week, or the week before, right here on this show.
Yep.
And we talk about teams and players and management of teams and owners of teams that go in and take advantage of municipalities to get what they want. This is a reverse situation, in my opinion, where in fact Oakland knows that they have got, that is the county of Oakland, knows that they have got the A's, I mean literally by the short hairs, and is just sticking it to them. They know they've got no place to go and that they can't make a move, that Major League Baseball will not approve it, and so they keep doing this, and that Oakland County knows that they do not have the infrastructure and the tax base in order to make the required necessities that are required of that stadium. This is a grotesque situation, in my opinion, and a reverse of what we have talked about so many times in the past.
If I may,
Go ahead.
you know, in the NFL, we had, some instances of MRSA that broke out, right? And facilities that had to be quarantined and that kind of thing. You wonder if a situation as bad as what Oakland's going through, is that really what it's going to take in order for some light and clear thinking to be thrown at this? Because that is a shame. I mean, that is a shame. Now, that's not to say the fan base in Oakland doesn't want that team there. And there is a draw for the Oakland A's still. But that's really tragic. And you're hearing about these high schools that are getting mega $1 million facilities, right? Here we have an established MLB franchise that can't just simply upgrade and become sanitary.
Yeah, I just, as many times as we've talked about, the greediness, the avarice of teams, this one strikes me as being the reverse situation. And I feel bad for the Oakland Athletics. And I feel bad that they recognize that where they were the other day, because obviously there is nothing on the near horizon whereby they could even sign, say, a 7-year lease, a 5-year lease, and say, we know this is coming down the line.
Contingent upon we're going to get our own digs.
They signed it for 10
years.
And I think that their thinking is that transiently something will happen in the meantime, that maybe we can get something going to make this situation better. But obviously nothing's going to change until 2024 or so.
Julius Randle went.
Well, see, I read that the hope was that they're going to get a new stadium.
Julius Randle, 7 to the Lakers. Was hoping that was going to be available for 10. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Sidekick.
I was saying, what I was reading was they were hoping they were going to get a new stadium. I mean, yes, it's not in the contract, but they were trying to move to San Jose, and that got ixnayed.
Well, that's been squashed. Yeah, that's not happening.
They signed this 10-year deal, hoping that they can parlay that into.
There's been no real serious feasibility about a new stadium for the A's. None. Because the county has immediately dismissed it as saying we don't have the infrastructure. There's no financial means for us to be able to do this. Period. And both the owners of because the Raiders, I still believe, still play there.
Yep.
The owners of the Raiders and the Athletics both have indicated that they're not willing to put in the lion's share in order to build a brand new stadium.
New happen.
That they might make a contribution, but they're not willing to put in the lion's share.
Said straight out they don't want.
They don't want to stay there.
They don't like the dirt infield on their football field the first part of the season.
Right.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Right.
And they still will till they move to LA or whatever.
Wherever they're going to wind up. Right. Precisely.
So.
Mass transit takes you right there. The arguments on the other side are all about, well, look how convenient it is. Yeah, we got to do a little cleanup.
Yeah, that's for the
We're going to put a fresh coat of paint on there for you.
That's the infrastructure that's not necessarily benefiting the team.
Well, hey, right. I hear you.
Well, one thing that could potentially happen, if the Raiders were to move, okay, hypothetically. You could do kind of like what the Cardinals did in St. Louis with the old Busch Stadium. They could build right there where they're at and demolish the Coliseum as soon as baseball season's over. Start working on things.
Yeah, right.
And have a new stadium built.
But that's assuming the financial wherewithal is there and in place.
Yeah.
Right. And that means that all parties have got to get together. Taxpayers, municipalities, and the ownerships. Right. Now, without the Raiders involved, you're even down one less ownership. So, anyhow, it's a situation.
More bucks into
I wouldn't necessarily say it's screwy, but to me, I was a little bit shocked that it was for that long a term. All right, let's take a real quick look at the AL and NL standings as they are right now. Not too much of a change from what we've been looking at over the past couple of weeks. The Blue Jays still sit atop the East by just a game and a half over now the Orioles. But the Orioles and the Yankees keep going back and forth. They can't seem to make up their mind who they want in second place. The Detroit Tigers surged ahead of the Royals by 4 games. Come on, Kansas City, get your act together.
KC was on a roll last week, weren't they?
And the A's, despite their conditions, they're still leading the West, 4 games in front of the Angels. They have pretty much led that almost all season long so far. Over in the National League, the Washington Nationals, just a game in front of the Braves. You'll just put me on tape for the East. It'll just go that way all season long. Somebody will be ahead by just 1 game, going right into the last week. The Brewers are 4.5 games in front of the Cardinals, and the Giants have fallen again. Now just 3 games in front of the Dodgers. All right, there you go. There's our Major League Baseball segment. And many, many thanks to CLW 83. And, all right, well, I don't know. What do you think, Jim? It's holding out pretty good. And it's only Thursday, so maybe I'll be able to make that appearance on Saturday.
Make it draft day, Jim.
It's got to get the cough under control. I'll be good. All right? But thanks to you guys for helping us out and sponsoring our segments right here every week for Major League Baseball. All right. Let's get over and take a look at our racing report. 10 races. That's all that's remaining in the regular NASCAR season leading into the chase. And, well, this week's weekly race report brought to you by our friends at Herb FM Sports Radio. Be sure you're checking out their programming, which, as I pointed out many times, includes the rebroadcast of this program. And what you want to do is make sure you get over to our Frat House Sports Facebook page. Give us a like there, and then you'll be able to find out when they're rebroadcasting us. This past week, it was on Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. They did a marathon of programs. So
number 8 is Nick
very nice. Stauskas.
Yep.
Nick Stauskas. I believe he's from Michigan.
Yes, he is.
There you go.
Correct.
Shooting guard.
And that was another one I was kind of hoping was still going to be sticking around at 10, but okay. Race report. Let's see if I can get through this one.
All right.
This past Sunday, we went road tracking out at Sonoma, where we had, well, just a mere 110 laps. Average speeds of just a mere 75.5 miles per hour through 11 turns. And we saw speeds ranging from as low as 35 miles an hour to, bam, all of a sudden all the way up to 150 plus.
Right.
And that would have been in, well, far less than 6 seconds, trust me. Who handled these conditions the best? Well, actually, it was A.J. Allmendinger who did the who did the best. He led the pack with 35 laps led, but ultimately came in 37th. Carl Edwards second in laps led with 26, and he did get the checkered flag this past Sunday. His first at a road course and his second win of the season. Pole sitter Jamie McMurray gave Edwards a race in the final 4 laps. Ran very, very well all day.
1 to 99. You gotta love that. Kind of like that the way it goes. 1 to 99. You got all the numbers.
That's pretty good. Another shout out that we have to give goes to Kevin Harvick as well, who had 23 laps of his own, but ultimately came in 20th. That's kind of been Harvick's MO for the past couple of weeks. Runs well, doesn't finish well. Matt Kenseth, well, he had himself a tough day.
A little rough.
As you can see here, he lost the entire front end of his car
rough.
after getting spun in lap 76 by Junior. Ended up in the wall.
Yes, he did.
I think I read somewhere, maybe gentlemen, you can fill me in on that, but I think I read somewhere those two guys sat down and they had a cup of tea and then solved their issues on that one just yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, Junior said, I got one coming. I got one.
Said?
Yeah, but essentially.
Okay.
Listen, you know, I got one coming. I know I do.
All right, others who came in.
bitch.
Yeah, something like that.
Others who came in our top 5 in the first road course of the season. Jeff Gordon came in second. Well, there is Junior at third. Jamie McMurray came in 4th from the pole.
Not bad.
And Paul Menard came in 5th. What's that? That's got to be his, what, 2nd or 3rd top 5 or top 10, I guess, for Menard this season. Leaderboard real quick. And you can see, yes, Carl Edwards jumped up there
nicely
into our 3rd spot.
Yep, nicely.
And you can see that's starting to even out a little bit. Points and wins now evening out just a tad bit. All right, so this week we're heading back to the big ovals this Saturday evening now.
Right, our old Kentucky home.
There you go. Saturday evening, don't forget that. Down at Kentucky Speedway, you can catch it all on TNT beginning at 7:30 on Saturday. All right.
How many commercials will there be? Right? You shared
Saturday evening there'll be a lot. I didn't do the analysis.
Yeah,
on Sunday.
well, you know, I was gonna say, right? We shared up analysis recently, right, about
I think it was last week,
what the total time was and what your commercial time cut out from it was, and boy, oh boy, TNT.
Actually, it was at the beginning of the week.
We should turn it into a drinking game, and you get so.
Oh, I'd be so hammered. Yeah, you'd be so hammered.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly.
But since we're back at the big ovals, Sidekick, I would imagine that what you have to say
I picked the wrong week. Quit drinking.
we are back to traditional picking for our fantasy teams. Is that right?
Actually, you know, I kind of like this format that we did last week, where I wait until half an hour before the race to give you guys the picks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Our viewers don't.
We're going to be doing the amazing Kreskin. I believe.
Oh, no!
I think Sidekick wanted to pick this, and this.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
At a cookout at the Frat House.
Ah. Always a good time.
All right, so we're going to Kentucky. This is only the 4th time we've ever raced Sprint Cup at Kentucky.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So not a whole lot of data to analyze for Kentucky. But I guess let's get with the names, shall we? We're going to go with Jeff Gordon. Finished second here at Sonoma. He is $28. He's won at Kansas, and he's got 4 top 10s. And he's been, he hasn't finished outside the top 10 at Kansas, which is only the 4 races. So then we're going to go with Kevin Harvick, who you mentioned, $27. This guy, he's been, but we talk about Junior and Harvick and drivers possessed, or being guided this year, and it seems like Harvick's been there, especially on the 1.5 mile ovals this season. So we have Happy Harvick on there. And then we're putting Frat House Mike's fave, Mr. Kyle Busch, $26. He also has never finished outside the top 10 at Kentucky, and he won the first race there at Kentucky, and I believe has led the most laps over the 4 years. And then obviously we're going to fill out the roster with Michael Annette at $9.50 and the lucky dog Landon Castle at $7.50. Okay. That takes your roster to a complete $100.
Oh, nice, actually. Wow, that buttons it up nicely, doesn't it?
All right, there you have that. And since we're talking fantasy, we'll real quick take a look at the leaderboard with just 10 races remaining in the regular season. And our fantasy team, Sidekick Spoilers, continues to sit up there in second place. What are you? A little bit less than about 100 points out of first place. So we'll see whether this roster you just throw to us here can make any difference there.
Up.
Team Bloodpack is in 4th. Brandon's team, the Destroyers, back up there in 9th, and I managed to...
Yeah, you're back on the board.
Back up into the board. I'll be off it again this week, though. Don't fear not. I just drop off and jump on.
Noah Von Lee?
Von Ley?
Is number 9.
Noah Von Ley. Okay.
Charlotte.
All right. So we got that one going. All right. It's a good time to be thinking about closing it out. I think my voice has just about had it.
You held up pretty good, though.
I don't know about that. But before we get out of here, let's take a look real quick at our Frat House Sports Facebook post of the week. And that was a Today in Sports post that I actually put up the other day. On the anniversary of President Richard Nixon signing into law the provisions of Title IX for collegiate sports in 1972, you'll remember that Title IX actually gave parity to female sports as well as men's sports. That post got hundreds and hundreds of views. Well, not quite hundreds and hundreds, but a little bit over, close to 200 views. Well, that's, this is the kind of thing you can expect.
Yeah, that's what happens at the Frat House.
We put up stuff that happens in the moment. I'm also going out there every single day and I'm finding some little neat trivial tidbit of something that happened in history and I'm posting that one up. So you want to make sure you go over there and give us a like there, give our Facebook page a like, and then you'll get those daily posts of what's happening in sports history.
And Title IX stuff, we've been talking about it lately.
It's timely.
It's right. It's a funny thing. While that's a historical reference to a footnote, it's hardly a footnote because Title IX is going to
be an issue
to be brought
as we continue to watch what's happening in the NCAA. And how that's all going to morph itself into whatever it's going to turn out to be.
Yeah, that's still going.
So, the other thing you want to make sure you do, get over and give our website a look-see. FratHouseSports.net. Give that a look-see as well. All right? FratHouseSports.net. All right. All right, I've had enough. Everybody else okay? You all had enough?
I'm good.
Yeah.
You had enough of Mike or you had enough of the show?
Well,
Yeah, both.
well,
All right.
it is draft day. Can't get enough.
And we'll go finish up with the NBA draft. We'll go see how that's
You
going.
do that.
I'm going to.
Don't you give me none of your back talk.
Or Camping World Trucks, too.
Oh,
Well, yeah, that's kind of where I'll be.
Oh, there you
I
go.
want to see what's going on
And
with this.
Is that? Oh,
I like
that's
that.
live. We're in the 12th lap.
Yeah,
of
what do we got?
150.
Chase Elliott running up there, I hope.
No, they're showing Matt Crafton right now.
Okay.
Right.
Under
well,
caution of some sort.
All right, well, there you go. There's our show for this week.
Sixers are on the clock for their
10th pick.
Yeah,
They've not
so.
had an
For
answer
their
yet.
10th pick, and I don't know if we're going to last that long.
No, right. Yeah. Honestly.
We're not going to make it.
Nah.
But that's all right. You can catch up. Hey,
That's
you know what to do? Get over to our Facebook page, give us a like, and I'll let you know in like 2 minutes.
Exactly.
In the meantime, you know what you got to do? You got to keep us real. You got to keep us live. You got to keep us going. We'll see you
Dig it
next
out,
week.
man.
We want to try to get on in the next 6 minutes.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
we got the draft coming.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm supposed to have
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I need a
mug of
drink.
beer there, dude. You're supposed to have a mug of beer for the draft day.
All right.
Yeah, get him a mug of beer.
No, it just occurred to me it's draft day again. We're back to that. I'm drinking Mountain Dew because I have no idea what time it is, what day it is.
All right, we're going to open up with the NBA draft because, of course, that's what's going on, and I make reference to that in the opening. NBA draft, so that's one. Go ahead. I got to remember. Okay, that's two. Now, that is... You're going to need to listen, Brandon, for when I bring up some of these names, because that's when you're going to want to make the change. That's Joel Embiid. Okay, so the first one is Joel Embiid. E-N-B-I-I-D.
Who?
Yeah, right. No, not the Who. That's an English rock band. That's Joel Embiid.
Okay?
Does he have one picture?
Yes, one. They all have just one. The second one will be Jabari Parker from
There he
Duke.
is. Yeah, I was thinking we're going to have to
Okay.
show him, right?
Parker.
Which one is he?
Yeah.